You have some plumbers who are service-based and want to go in and take care of somebody's issue. Some other guys who are there to capitalize on a person in their vulnerable state, and they want to go and make a sale. Most emergencies involve water, rarely gas. But yeah, you got water, you got to stop the water, whatever it is, whether it's an active water leak or, shutting the valving off, whatever's going on. We're service-based. We do some new construction, some remodels, but primarily we're service-based and residential probably 85% of the time. Commercial 15%. That's our bread and butter and our typical clients. Hi, this is Nathaniel Hammontree with Peradventure Plumbing, and this is the Working Class Roundup.
Saddle up. Punch that clock. Let's ride. This is the Working Class Roundup. Spurs, truck, boots up, pants rub. Clock in, hold on, don't fold up. We get paid, get drained, still show up. From the plant yard dust to the highway rust. Raise that cup, let's sound off. This is the Working Class Roundup.
Yeehaw! Welcome to the Working Class Roundup. I'm your host, Cowboy Jody Collins, and joining me today is a plumbing extraordinaire, a guru of everything that plumbs. Nathaniel, how you doing, brother?
Doing fine. Doing great.
Awesome.
Happy to be here.
Well, welcome to the Working Class Roundup. What we do here is we interview, we talk to small and medium-sized businesses, find out what inspires them, what they do different in the marketplace, and then we elevate them, put the spotlight on them. And as always, on the flip side, we talk about the nightmares and all the things that scary can happen from an insurance standpoint in that industry. So, Nathaniel, you got your work cut out. Are you ready for this?
All right.
All right, go. All right, so the first question I always like, it's my loaded shotgun question for you is, what inspired you to be a plumber?
I seem to have a natural knack for it. My uncle ran a plumbing shop of materials, supplies, and I was mowing lawn, cutting the grass when I was 14. And I went inside, started putting up fittings when I was 15. And it started to appeal to me. And then in hearing from other plumbers coming in buying materials at the counters. So I started picking it up naturally and went from the materials to the actual installation side, and I seem to have a knack for it. I was gifted and blessed to be able to be proficient at plumbing. So I started that when I was 16, and I'm 42 now, so I'm still going. So
that's awesome. And then, now you also, it's kind of a legacy then, right? Because you work with family.
My younger brother Beaumont, he's the other half of the company. He's vice president. I'm president. He's vice. And I'd be lost without him, but he's critical to our operations. So yes,
that's awesome. That's something I've always read. You want to do something that you love, right? And that's important because then you're not really working. You're just having fun, right?
But yeah,
and so you put it in, but you're a small mom and pop type of country.
There's just two of us, and then we have our office manager Kathy. She runs our office and all the paperwork and all the machinations, things that I'm not good and proficient at. She takes care of it. So we're a tripod, and if any of us is not in 100% mode, we're gonna fall over. So yeah, everybody's critical to us.
See, I love that approach that you have there. It's the tripod. It's a team effort. Yep, you got each other's back and covered each other.
Very blessed. Yes.
Technically, you can do a two-arm pie bud if you lean a certain way, but yeah, I'm going back to my hunting days. But yeah, that tripod is much better, right? So what kind of scale of jobs do you do in the DFW market? Is that primarily?
Yeah, we like to stay in Dallas County and Collin County. We do Tarrant County as well. But we're service-based. We do some new construction, some remodels, but primarily we're service-based and residential probably 85% of the time, commercial 15%, but pretty much going in and solving an immediate problem at someone's house. So that's our bread and butter and our typical clients. So
okay. So let me ask you, because again, this has come up in my household oftentimes, right? Is what do you say to those do-it-yourselfers, right? Hey, I can watch YouTube. I can go down to the Home Depot or the Lowe's and pick up what I need. What do you say to those folks?
Well, that's part of what inspired me to want to do it myself, because I was seeing there's in the market, it seems like you have pretty much two types of plumbing companies, and then you can have one that can be a hybrid. You have some that are sales based and some that are service based, and there's a lot of gray area in between. So you have some plumbers who are service based who want to go in and take care of somebody's issue. You have some other guys who are there to capitalize on a person in their vulnerable state, and they want to go and make a sale, make an upsell, and take advantage of the customer. And that's what inspired me to get into plumbing, because I saw a lot of people get taken advantage of. So I wanted to help people and give them the service at a reasonable price. And it's also, honestly, it is fun taking care of people's needs and their plumbing, and I have something I can help people out with. So it was kind of a twofold reason for that. But there are a lot of shysters. There's some quote unquote plumbers that are really sales guys in disguise.
Okay.
And they give us guys a bad rap, but there's also do-it-yourselfers, which that's great. People that they're motivated and they want to fix their own stuff. And probably 20% of the time I'm an advisor to a homeowner, or people who would call me and, the empowered consumer who just wants to do it themselves. And I'm there to help them whenever they want to try to do it themselves. And then I'm there as a fallback if it doesn't work out. So
nice. And that's a big thing, right? Is go for it. But then there's certain levels, right, of skill, right? It's like a video game in life, right? It's like you can handle the changing a faucet, and you can handle plumbing out the crapper, so to speak. But when you've got a slab leak, that's above the pay grade of a do-it-yourselfer, right? Because now there's a lot more to it, right? And there's a lot more expertise required, right? Because there's different techniques you can use and employ to fix that. Yeah, I learned that myself, having to deal with it. But yeah, it's but it's an important thing to know out there that you can do some things by yourself, and it's a great learning experience. But then there's times when you want to bring a professional in, and that makes a big difference.
Yeah.
So again, I know a little bit of a plumbing, because back in the day, back when this wasn't so gray, I used to build swimming pools, and I'd have to put water features in and stuff like, and worry about PVCs. But there's a lot to plumbing to learn, and it's not like formal education, slap a degree on it, but there's rules and physics that are applied to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where people get tied up on stuff. What's the most complex project that you've actually had to service?
Well, you said slab leaks. Slab leaks can be involved. Sometimes a slab leak can be as simple as a pinhole in a line. You see to dig to it, or spot fix it, just depending on how you want to attack a slab leak. But they could be simple. You just break a hole in the floor, and do a fix on the line. But it also could be in a beam, and you got to do a reroute, and then you got a 2-story house, and you got to cut drywall. So it could be simple, or it could be complex. And also you have the customer's home. You're trying to be minimally invasive. So you just want to be careful. Something can be simple, but you can make it as complex unnecessarily too. So probably slab leaks, they can be pretty challenging. So
yeah, and I can be a witness to that. They can be a little bit more involved. But one thing, and again, this is important, because I'm hoping that the working class that's watching this will pick up on what are ways that an owner of a building can recognize they've got a problem with their plumbing? What's some surefire tips that you can give away?
that's great. Most of the time, the triggers, not triggers, things that people notice is a higher water or gas bill. And then also foundation shifting, which, you being in insurance, I'm sure you are familiar with that. But higher gas bill, high water bill, and or foundation shifting. Those are pretty much lead signs that there's something going on.
Right.
So, yeah, it's just, if any of those three pop out to you, that's cause for concern, and you give us a call. We can help you from there, kind of diagnose what's going on. So
yeah, there's been a few more, just because I know somebody who has some experience with it. You're laying in bed and it sounds like the toilet's running, but it's not. You've got up several times and checked, and no, it's not the toilet. What? Water on somewhere? And you go out and you check all your fixtures, and no, it's running. It's just not in a place where you expect it to run.
Yep.
Yeah. So here you can see it, you can feel it. Yeah. So that makes a lot of sense. So one of the things that I always like to caution people about is fixing things right away. Right. So I'm going to protect the names and the dates and things like that, so nobody can put it together. But there was a leak on the shower that kept dripping. Dripping and dripping. And of course they're saying, oh, we gotta get that fixed. Oh, we gotta get that fixed. We gotta get that fixed. What's the danger of procrastinating on something like that with water? What's the nightmare?
Water can be erosive. So if you have a drip and you address it immediately, then that's fine. It's washer. But the problem that can happen is over time, water will erode, just like any other element, and it will cut into the brass, into the body of whatever said fixture is. And past that point, it becomes more involved. It's not a washer change out. You might have to actually cut into the wall and change something out. It gets more involved. So the longer you procrastinate, like you're saying, it makes it worse.
Yes, yeah. Have you ever ended up cutting into something and you're like, whoa, okay, hazmat suit needed because there's mold and all that?
Yep, and that's one of the risks too. Yeah, the longer you wait, as much as inconvenient as it is, and plumbing always has the most inconvenient timing. It never strikes at a good time. It ruins your day. But it is necessary to try to fix it as fast as possible, or it makes everything worse. So
Right. Now, as far as licensing and experience, things like that, for a plumber, if I'm a customer, I'm looking for somebody, what's some of the telltales that I should be doing? I mean,
well, every plumber or aspiring plumber is required by the state of Texas, by the state plumbing board, to get an apprenticeship, and then your hours accrue, and they're generated and they're tracked by the state plumbing board. So as a homeowner, if you're going to call a plumbing company to come out and do service for you, you can look up every plumbing company is required to have a responsible master plumber. He can be looked up online. So you can actually, it's a great the way the state has it set up. You can go and look up your plumbing company that you're calling, say plumbing company. You can look up the RMP number and you can see who's the master plumber that's responsible for the company. But also, he's going to have technicians, and there's a tradesman, which is licensed to do residential plumbing in the state of Texas, or a journeyman who's licensed to do residential or commercial. But those guys are licensed, and you can trace and track them as well online. So the State Plumbing Board does a great job of protecting the public and giving you a resource to reach out and vet the person who's coming to your house. And a good plumbing company, they're gonna let you know those people's licenses numbers, and they're gonna brag on who they're using for your house, because they're gonna charge you a fee, and you want your money to be valuable, and give value to what you're paying for. So
right, yeah, and that's important, right? Because again, whether you're dealing with just an ad hoc leak, you're paying out of pocket, you gotta get it fixed, or if it's a covered claim, right? You want to make sure that the work is done by somebody who's licensed, they practice, they have hours, right? You wouldn't get on an airplane with a rookie pilot that hasn't put in the time flying, right?
Yep.
You wouldn't do that, right? I mean, maybe they don't tell you, but you wouldn't get in a plane. Oh, that guy's been in a simulator for 20 hours of simulation. I think how fast is on this plane, right? The same thing with a plumber. You want to make sure that you bring them in, because again, the repercussions of getting somebody who doesn't know what they're doing, right? So that little drip, they place it up, then the next thing you know, in the middle of the night, water's gushing out of the wall, it's flooding the floor, you're not even aware of what's going on. By the time you can get out and shut off the water, you're full, your bathroom floor is under 2 inches of water.
Yeah, and that's water. Then you get into something even more dangerous, gas. That you're talking about, a lot of people's lives are at stake there. That's when you really need to be cautious.
Right.
Watch what you're using. So
yeah, it makes a big difference. All right, so what we're gonna do, and then we're gonna go to pause for some commercial break with our partners and our supporters of the program, and we'll be right back.
So, social media. Let's talk about it. So, with social media these days, video content is king. It's just a fact of life. If you're not posting video content on a weekly basis for your business, you're missing a huge amount of attention that could be coming to you. And attention is awareness. Awareness is trust. Trust brings clients. If you're interested in knowing a little bit on how video content can help your business, then click on the link below and we'll go from there.
Hey, Working Class Nation, Cowboy Jody Collins here with Amex Commercial. If you own your business, if you have a business you work for and you need to protect it, we want to be that company to protect you. We want to offer you those solutions that fit your budget. We can offer general liability, workers' comp, commercial auto, or any of the other commercial lines of business available to protect your assets. Give us a call today at the link below. We'd love to help you out. See you on the flip side. Enjoy the rest of the show. Welcome back to the Working Class Roundup. I'm Cowboy Jody Collins. Here with me, my plumbing guru, Nathaniel, Peradventure. So let's talk about this because again, we were just chatting on the break about claims and how just because you fix something, it doesn't mean the work's over, right? So for my own example, foundation leaks, they happen in Texas. They just do. The soil is so expansive that it moves. You may not snap your foundation, but it can break pipes because it doesn't take much to break a pipe, right?
Yep.
And so they run a bypass, but with that bypass in the bathroom, they now tell me that I have to make sure that we heat the room in when it gets really cold, because it's more susceptible to freezing, right? And so that, it reminded me of when I was a kid watching the Schoolhouse Rock, the circulation, right? It's the thing where, yeah, everything in the home it's almost like a body. It's working together, right? You've got your nervous system, which is the electricity. You've got the plumbing, which is like your digestive system. It's going all over. It's got to work right. And it gets backed up, there's going to be a problem in the human body, but also in the house. And that's where it causes. One question I get all the time and on the insurance side is emergency services, right? There's an emergency, something happens that you're not ready for. I give an example. I'm going to change the name. A building bathroom, 6th floor.
Oh,
Plumbing breaks.
oh boy.
The pipe breaks.
Yeah.
Just age, whatever. I don't know the reason why. Pluggage, something, but it breaks. And now you've got 6 floors of water. Emergency. What's talk through what's the process on those type of things.
Man, yeah. Well, typically most emergencies involve water, and rarely gas, but water. You need to get gas leaks too, but yeah, you got water. You got to stop the water, whatever it is, whether it's an active water leak or shutting the valving off whatever's going on, floor or building, or you got a sewage backup, and that's too. So if the stoppage is down low and your floor's up, it's a cumulative failure. So yeah, and then if it's a gas leak, you got to shut it off, stop the bleeding immediately, and then figure out how to resolve that from there. And then you got the remediation, and that's always fun too. So, and people freaking out, whatever the situation is, you're there just to stop the immediate emergency, and then work on resolving and calming everybody down from there. So
yeah, exactly. Now you mentioned a word I want to make sure, because sometimes big words, because we're in the industry, we use them, and we got to think, wait, maybe they don't understand what that mitigation.
okay, then I'm not an insurance guy, so I probably use the wrong word.
No. Mitigation. What is mold mitigation or water mitigation? What do you want to water plane? That is.
At least from what I've with the water mitigating crews.
Yep.
That work for us, and we work with. They come in, they have to extract the water, suck it out, and start drying out with fans and stuff like that.
Right.
So I'm not a pro in that.
No. And I'm glad you mentioned that though. But mitigation just means you got to stop it from progressing to something worse, right? Yeah. And with water in wood and drywall means mold. And so that's why mitigating is so important. Is they got to come in, they got to pump the water out, they got to dry it out, because if it happens once, you can still function. But if you let it sit too long, it's mold. Now they got to cut it all out, and it's even more expensive, and it's a higher claim, or it's a higher cost out of pocket.
Yeah.
And so that's why that mitigation. So turn off the water. That's step 1 in emergency, right?
Yeah.
Step 2 is mitigate the water. Try to remove as much of the water from the scene as possible. Dry things out. Put vans and things so you can dry it out. Then call the plumber out and let them assess and fix, right?
Yeah.
That'd be a fair.
We're lockstep. They first either call us or they call the water guys first. So it goes back and forth who gets called first. So
Perfect. And the thing, there's also, and I like to tell you this, because again, on commercial property or residential property, a lot of people don't understand the difference. There's pretty much three different types of claims from water, right? So you have the breakage of a pipe, right? It freezes, it explodes, and now there's water gushing in the house, right? That's covered one way on your policy. But then there's always what you said, sewage backup, right? That's sewage backup from flushing and stuff that's going down there. But that's a separate coverage on a lot of policies. And it's also separate coverage as amount of money that we paid out on water or sewage backup. In fact, a lot of carriers will have special limits on that, $5,000, $10,000, and that's it. It won't go any higher than that. Whereas if it's a pipe break, it's whatever the limits of the policy is, right? And then the last one is rising water, right? So outside, so it's raining and water's rising. Now it gets into the dwelling. And that's not covered by the homeowners or the business policy. That's flood. That's a FEMA policy. So there's different ways water can damage your home, but they're all a little bit different on how they're treated in the contract with regards to insurance. One is covered full limits, pipe break, emergency breakage, things like that. The other one is it comes back at a house slowly because of a clog or a blockage, and that one's got limits. A lot of carriers put caps on it. And then the last one, if the water gets in the house, they don't, or the building, they don't cover it at all because it's a part of FEMA, and FEMA has to do that rising water. So have you had to deal with all three of those types of?
Just the first two, not the flood. That's got something new. Now we deal with area drainage, French drains, things like that. But a house being inundated like that, we've had some properties that we've dealt with, but that's not our specialty.
It's not as prevalent up here in DFW, but down in the southern portion in Galveston and there's sump pumps. Then plumbers have to work with those sump pumps all the time.
And we do have some properties that we service that do have low-lying areas that are susceptible to water collecting, and we do help out with that natural drainage or sump drainage. And that is something, yes.
Yeah, and so those things do occur, and again, they're very different policies, and that's where you need that insurance professional to determine, hey, let's figure this out, right?
Yeah.
Because it's not a good thing to be stuck at the end of the road with damage, water damage, mold damage, and not have any solutions for it. What's the one thing claim wise? Have you ever dealt with an insurance claim on from any of your services?
We've done a few, but I wouldn't say I'm a pro at doing insurance claims. Just there's a lot of working parts, but we have done a few, and it's just following step by step with the agent or the adjuster or whatnot in the homeowner. So we don't do it all the time, admittedly, but we have done some, and just following exactly what the insurance company wants, because they're very tight on their requirements and stipulations.
Yeah.
So.
And people always ask me, "Hey, Jody, why are they so tight with that?" And I always refer that insurance. You got to remember that they deal with. That's what they do. That's their services, claims. Right? It's not writing policies, actually claims. And because of the volume of claims that come in across the country, they know, okay, if you have a sewer backup and it's at this depth and it backs into the home, this is how much damage it is. This is how much work will be approved. This is how much money it's going to cost, because they've got 50,000 of those claims that they can go back and look at and analyze. And then they look at, well, what region of the country is it in? Okay. And how many plumbers per capita are there? Okay. And then they figure out those costs, and that's how they determine how they're going to pay out on things. It's all math. It's all actuarial work, which is really geeky and really fun and kind of kooky, but that's how it works. Did you have any questions for me? Did you want to throw anything my way as far as coverage? Any nightmares? Any stories that you're like, hey,
I know that we get asked fairly often. What are some preventative things that as a homeowner or even a business owner on the commercial side that people could do to be able to prevent anything being catastrophic or save any money down the road? And preventative maintenance is a big deal, but even for you, from what you see and what's common. I don't know if you had anything that is preventative maintenance wise that you typically see as a common claim that you see coming through.
Yeah, there's a few things that I think that preventatively wise you can do. Some homes are now smart homes, right? They have attachments on their water heaters. They have attachments on their plumbing that notify the homeowner via app. Hey, this water is leaking, or this is going out where you're using something.
Right.
Huge opportunity, right?
Yeah.
But even some of the cities now will text you. Like I know, like the city of Allen and city of Plano, where if you have continuous water use overnight, they'll text you, hey, did you mean to do this?
Yeah.
Were you filling a pool? Yeah. Right? That's what they're assuming. But if it wasn't, you might want to investigate your home, right? And so those are things that help. I think the thing is just pay attention, right? That's the big thing. Back in the days before we lived in fancy houses and buildings, we were living on the prairie in a cabin or a teepee or whatever. And, we would listen to the environment. That would tell us what's going on. Like, oh, danger over there. Let's stay over here, right? Oh, I hear running water over there. We can go get fresh water over there. It's the same thing, just more modern, right? You just got to listen. You got to be aware of your world. You can't, I put my phone down there. You don't want to be looking at your phone like this in your own home. You want to be aware of what's going on in your house. I think that's probably most important.
Yeah. So it's very helpful.
Yeah, definitely. And thank you for doing what you do. Because again, especially in my home, my office, well, you know which office I'm talking about, gets a lot of use.
Yep. That is true.
It is. Hey, if somebody wanted to reach out to you, Nathaniel, how would they get a hold of you? What would be the best way?
You can send us an email, peradventureplumbing@gmail.com, or even my cell phone is our main line, 214-458-8606. And I believe that Jody is going to also put our info at the bottom of the page.
I am. I'm going to put it off and down at the bottom. So that way, if you have any questions about plumbing emergencies, anything like that, you reach out to Nathaniel and in the DFW marketplace. If you need protection for your business or your said properties, you can reach out to me and my team. We'd be happy to help you. Nathaniel, thank you for joining me today. I appreciate you, brother.
All right.
Definitely do. And to all the working class nation out there, happy sales, happy trails.